first blank is this. Our theme verse, Hebrews 10:23, provides me and you with, first of all, an internal obligation. And it says at the very beginning, let's hold firmly. And guys, I want to encourage you to understand something that if you don't decide personally this morning, individually this morning, that you're going to hold firmly, then you're going to be disconnected from the movement of God in this place. Because God, it says he's giving this to us from his word. He goes, look, I'm going to be faithful, but you've got a responsibility too. And it's an internal obligation, a decision I have to make that I'm going to hold firmly. In 1 Corinthians 15, verses 1 and 2, I want you to see this exact word that's used repeatedly in multiple places. It's used there in Hebrews to say hold firmly. It's used here in 1 Corinthians 15, verses 1 and 2. And I'll get you to circle it when we get there. But it says, now, brothers and sisters, I want to remind you of the gospel I preached to you. Now, gospel means good news. So Paul comes into this church in Corinth, the city of Corinth. He says, brothers and sisters, I want to remind you. We need reminders. We don't remember super well a lot of things. Because I want to remind you of the good news that I preached. I really love that Paul spends some time going, guys, I want to remind you what I preached. And I would like to remind you guys this morning, I preached about frozen faith last week. I think it's a useful lesson. Go check it out. Paul goes, hey, remember what I preached to you. I preached to you the good news. And then he says, which you received. I'm sorry, I got to sit here for a second. I can preach this morning and you not receive it, even though you heard it. It won't sink in any deeper than the surface level. Or, see, that's what Jesus talks about. And he says there's all kinds of soils. A farmer goes out and scatters the seed, and some fell on the rocky soil, some fell on the thorny soil, some fell on the path. It was hard, it never even penetrated. But then some of it fell on the good soil. And it took root, and it grew, and it produced this amazing crop. And then he ends that parable by saying, he who has ears to hear, let him hear. Everybody grab your ear. Turn to your neighbor and say, I got ears. Now listen, but now I want you to ask your neighbor, but do you have ears to hear? Ask your neighbor, do you have ears to hear? See, that's a whole nother question. That's a whole nother question. So listen, he says, I preach to you this gospel, which you received. It hit good soil, and on which, as a result, you took your stand. I wonder how many people in here, I'm serious, everybody listen to me and ask yourself this question. Have you taken any kind of stand? Do you know what it means to take a stand? Some of y'all ain't standing, you're sitting. Some of y'all are so uncommittal and to the call. Jesus said, come, follow me, and I'll turn you into something you're not. And some of y'all are like, nah, I'm good. This is the way I was born. This is the way I'm going to be. And I like it this way. But listen to what he said. Some of y'all took a stand on this gospel. Some of y'all just sort of dipped your toe in the baptistry, I think. And maybe somebody pushed you in. You got, I don't know, you got pressured into or something. It's the thing you're supposed to do. But when you went under that water, it was supposed to be dying with Christ, being buried with him, and resurrecting to a new life. But some of y'all just got wet. It seems. That's for you and God to decide. But I want you to understand there is an internal obligation that you and God got to sort out to see if it was real or not. He goes, because some of y'all received it and took your stand on it. Verse 2, I'm finally to verse 2. By this gospel you're saved if, circle this, if you hold firmly, circle that phrase. If you hold firmly to the word I preached to you. Otherwise, you have believed in vain. You know what it means to do something in vain? The best picture I got, and it comes because of the snow. I think my wife was telling me she didn't know how to engage her four-wheel drive on her Jeep Wrangler, and so she was stuck, and it was just spinning the wheels. That is hitting the gas in vain. You ain't going nowhere. And he goes, "Look, if you don't take your stand and you don't hold firmly to that, you believed in vain." I don't want that to be anybody this morning, this week, this month, this year. But you got to decide about this internal obligation. Look at Hebrews chapter 3, 12 through 14. The same phrase is going to pop up. It says, "See to it, brothers and sisters, that none of you has a sinful, unbelieving heart that turns away from the living God, but encourage one another daily, as long as it's called today." I've never met a day that wasn't called today. Have y'all? As long as it's called today, so that none of you may be hardened like that old path that the seed fell on. So that none of you may be hardened by sin's deceitfulness. We have come to share in Christ. Here's that old word again. If. We have come to share in Christ if, circle it, if we hold to our original conviction firmly to the very end.